Hi everybody. Today I want to show you how to use a really cool thing called the Type on a Path tool. Oops. So what I have open so far is just a straight up Illustrator document. It's just basic letter size, so 8.5 by 11 portrait mode. And I'm going to show you how to type on a path. So I'm going to use my pencil tool. I'm going to make sure my stroke is set to 1 point, and I'm going to say no fill. So I've got a stroke of black. And I'm going to go ahead and draw some kind of curvy line here. And if I come up here and click type on a path and I hover over, you're going to notice that you get a kind of like a little, I don't know, tilde thing right there. And if I click, depending on where I click, that's where my font is going to start. So I just started typing. Oops. And I'll make this path, so I can change my lowercase. I could also, by the way, as I'm going, like if I wanted to change the font size of this, I can totally do that. So I can also, I think I can even change the font type as I'm going. So what the other cool thing about this is, let's say I started there, but I really wanted this to start at the beginning. Well, if I come up back with the direct selection tool, that's the white arrow, and I hover over, do you see how I get this little arrow right there? So I'm hovering over to get that little arrow, and I'm going to drag this back, and I can bring the font back here. The other cool thing I can do is, let's say I like this, but I wanted to extend my path out some more. I can do that, and now I have actually more room to add other things to my path. So that's kind of nice. So this is editable after the fact as much as you want it to be. Other cool things about this is, you see how, let me grab this and make a copy of it. See how I have this little line in the middle here, and again, I find the direct selection tool works best for this. If I hover over that line, I get that arrow again, and if I drag it, oh, now I'm typing upside down on the path. And it's also interesting because it takes my text and it starts from right to left instead of left to right. So that's interesting as well, and it's just a matter of grabbing that long little line right there and dragging it up. So just cool little tricks for you to know about. You can also drag this around shapes. So there's a box, or rather circle, and I'm going to give this some kind of stroke. Oops, and I forgot to deselect that, so I know that's all red. So I'm going to grab the type on a path again and click around here, and voila. Now what I've noticed is, if let me put another circle over here. Be aware of this. Let's say I have another circle here, again, no fill, and I'm going to give this one a stroke of 2, whatever. And I've noticed that sometimes the computer gets confused about which path to focus on. So sometimes if that happens, you can just lock your layer with the other font on it, or the other path on it. But in this case, it's activating this one because it's selected. But if I have them both deselected, let's see if it works. Yeah, see, it's getting confused, like which one should it go to. So if I come back over here, obviously it's going to choose this one. And I can type again. And then if I want to, again, I can manipulate same way as before. Oh, come on. Be careful if you get that. Go back to the arrow. Make sure you see an arrow there, not a bunch of letters. And again, I can flip this in. So obviously this is its own path, so I can move this over. So that's typing on a path. There's a little bit more to it than that. Like if I wanted to, depending on how persnickety you are, if you go to type on a path options, you can even get into stuff like, do you want to align the path to the center? And see how that kind of makes it show up in the center. So again, type on a path. All of these do something, so you should really play around with these options on your own and just kind of see what they do. Like, this is now aligned to the ascender, and now you notice it's almost like it's outside of the path. Get some interesting things happening there. So play around with that and see what you can do.